Chris Olson, President of Alhambra Preservation Group.
And I'm Oscar Morrow, Vice President and Founder. We appreciate your interest in learning the views of the two candidates running in 2012 for Alhambra's 4th District City Council race on issues related to historic preservation in our city.
We've invited the candidates to respond to 5 questions posed by our members. The candidates have been given 5 minutes to respond to each question and 1 minute to introduce themselves. We thank them both for their willingness to participate in this project designed to inform the electorate of their positions on these issues vital to our community's quality of life. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Salinas and I'm a candidate for the office of Alhambra City Council. I'd like to thank Alhambra Preservation Group and Chris Olson for the opportunity to introduce myself to you and also to share my views on historical preservation in the city of Alhambra. I grew up in this beautiful city. I've lived here all my life virtually. In 2006, I purchased my home here with my family, and I've chosen Alhambra as the home where I'm going to live and raise my children. I am an attorney. I am not a career politician. And as an attorney, despite all the funny jokes, attorneys are problem solvers. We have many challenges during these economic times. Local governments face a lot of challenges. And I, as your city council, will be a passionate advocate and will do my best to represent all Alhambrans.
Is there a place in Alhambra that you think should be named a local historic landmark or a landmark district?
There are quite a few. I've chosen to speak today about 2. One I've chosen to speak about is the property that is located on the corner of Main and 2nd that currently houses the Alhambra Beauty School. It's a beautiful building made of brick, and it just is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how old it is, but when you look at all the buildings on Main Street, you can tell it's from a different time. And that's one building that I would consider a landmark and one that I would really hate to see be demolished. The other one is, I believe, a government-owned building on Shorb Street, 631 West Shorb Street. It used to be the Alhambra Health Department. It is across from Moorfield on the corner of 6th and Shorb next to the fire department. That's a beautiful brick building with a Spanish-style roof and I believe a white wood banister. My parents live in this part of the neighborhood, and we walk around Moorfield, and we've noticed it's been closed up. The windows are boarded up. I don't know what the future holds for that, but that would be a shame to lose that. And I remember getting my inoculations in that building when I was little.
Are you aware of the Mills Act enacted in 1972 to permit California cities to establish contracts with owners of designated historic properties to rehabilitate, restore, and maintain their buildings in exchange for a reduction in property taxes? And do you see a value in securing these Mills Act benefits for Alhambra property owners?
Yes, I am familiar with the Mills Act. It is the premier program through the state of California to give incentives to people to maintain their qualified historic properties. It allows city and counties to enter into these 10-year contracts that are renewable every year, and they run with the land, and they give the incentive. The property owner can realize potentially quite a reduction in their property tax if they participate in this program. I do see a value. I see a value for the homeowner who has a historic home and wants to refurbish it, but maybe doesn't have the money, and they really want to do that. So they will see an economic benefit. I also see a benefit for the city as well, because it allows the city to conserve their resources and also to allow continuity, to have the city have a sense of its history as it moves forward, and also to help grow civic pride. So those are all important. I see a benefit for both the owner as well as the city.
If elected, would you support the adoption of a historic preservation ordinance that would designate buildings on the basis of architectural and historic significance for special review by a council-appointed board before the buildings could be demolished?
Yes, I do. I would support historic preservation ordinance, and I believe it should be part of the overall planning for the city. We've lost many beautiful homes, historic properties in the last decades, and a historic preservation ordinance would provide a measure of protection for those properties. I do see a value to it, and also because we're moving into the future, we can't forget that Alhambra has a long, rich history, architecturally, just generally. And I think that if we not copy, but look at some of our neighboring cities that do have ordinances in place and see what they've been able to preserve, I would like to see that in our city as well.
Are you familiar with the 1985 Alhambra Historic Resources Survey, which was intended as a first step towards making historic preservation an official part of Alhambra's planning policy?
Do you think it's time to take the next step by commissioning a new and more comprehensive study?
I am familiar with the study through my research, but it was done when I was a child, so I don't remember it from back then. But as I understand it, it was commissioned with a grant from the Office of Historical Preservation, and at least 2 residential districts and several properties, I think 30, were at least put down to be studied or reviewed for possible protection as historic sites. I'm not sure why it has been so many years, 30-some years, and nothing's been done, but I would most definitely support, as a candidate, as an actual council member, I would support that we revisit that and actually make an inventory of what we have and properties that we want to see protected and preserved for future generations.
What do you want to tell the members and friends of the Alhambra Preservation Group about your goals for the next 4 years? And if you are elected to the City Council, how do you hope to achieve them?
Well, I would like to share with the members of the Alhambra Preservation Group the fact that one of my main goals, and foremost, more than anything, I love the city, but I'm also a homeowner, and I live in a historic part of the city of Alhambra, border of Granada Park District and Midwood Tract District. And if I'm allowed to be on the board, if I'm voted in, I will do my best to make sure that our historic neighborhoods are protected. And when I say protected, I'm saying protected from design guidelines that, although they've been strengthened, it's been my experience that when we go to the planning commissions, certain plans are approved that end up destroying the quality of the neighborhood. And I've had personal experience seeing that, and it's a shame. I would like to see some changes in the R3 guidelines as well. There's one provision in there that provides that the Planning Commission can give up to a 50% reduction in open space if the property happens to be contiguous to or next to a park. I don't believe that's proper, and I think that should be changed specifically. If that's not changed, then what I think our elected officials should do is, if you have a property that's next to a park and it's going to be an R3 development, I'd like to see more leadership, and I would be one of the people to go to the developer and say, if you're going to use this park as a selling point, give back to the park. So I would like to be that advocate. Another goal that I have is I'd like to see more green space in the city of Alhambra, and I'm not the only one. A 2007 resident survey that was done identified that as one of the desires of the residents, and that was that they wanted to see more green space. We have 6 beautiful parks, and those parks need to be properly maintained. But apart from that, we have a lot of development on Main Street, a lot of condominiums, a lot of townhomes. I don't see any green space on those developments. I think those people should be allowed to have some green space. And when I'm saying green space, I'm talking pocket parks along Main Street. So I would like to see that. I would also, my other goal is to get more involvement from the community when it comes to our city government. And that means doing open houses for the city government, having the people, our residents, and especially our young people, come in and see what's being done at the local level, get them excited about city government. I'd also like to see a friendlier design on our city website. It's a little bit busy for the average person, myself included. So that also helps. There are other issues, a lot of goals with regard to business development, and by all means, I am not against business. I understand the importance of growing our local businesses and being supportive. But I would be the council person that would look after the average resident and try to maintain our quality of life.